What is going on, peasants? My name is JB, and I am back here today with my semifinals game and team builder for the BBL. And we are going to be taking on Panther 2, coach of the Carolina Clefables, here in this matchup. So definitely be sure to go check him out in the description down below. Let's go ahead and go over his squad, which you guys can already see on the screen. And it will probably look at least a little bit familiar to you guys because we did play this team earlier in the season, I believe in week 2 or 3. But that was when Omega Jolteon was the coach, and Panther 2 took over for him. So let's go ahead and go over the squad. He has Mewtwo, Mega Lopunny, Kyurem Black with Z moves, Tornadus T, Crocodile, Rabombi with Z moves, Roserade, Audino, Empoleon, and Electrode with Z moves. So going over the team, obviously there's a freaking good golly gee Willikers Mewtwo right there. I don't know what that was, but yeah, there's a Mewtwo. It's obviously a gigantic threat, one of the absolute most potent, like, just offensive mons in the game. Like, it just comes in, it clicks literally almost every move in the game, and just gets kills. It's a fantastic Pokemon. Very, very hard to switch into, very hard to deal with. Mega Lopunny, again, you know, just an incredibly fast mon, one of the best wall breakers in the game. Great Mega, can fake out, can just sort of, again, just really click buttons and just stuff drops. Kyurem Black, again, one of the absolute best wall breakers in the entire game. Just sort of clicks buttons and things like that. And this thing also has Z move access, so you know, Z Free Shock is something we'll have to look out for, as well as like Z Dracos and whatnot. Subsets are very annoying, and it does have wall breakers and abilities, so you have to be careful with avoiding yeets as well. Tornadus T, one of the absolute best pivots in the game. Generator Mon, of course, can defog. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about taking Z Hurricanes, but you can still click Hurricane, he can U-turn, he can knock items off. It's a really good defogger as well. Crocodile, Intimidate's very annoying. Knockoff spam, of course. Stealth Rocks, of course, very good mon in that regard as well. Rabombi can set up webs, can sort of be a threat if he gets a couple Quiver Dances up. Can just sort of run through teams, but hopefully we can avoid that. There's another Z user, so maybe like some sort of Buginium set could be pretty annoying. Hopefully that doesn't come to that. Roserade can set spikes, which is obnoxious. Relatively fast. It's, you know, a good hazard mon. So hopefully we don't see that. Audino can Wish Pass, another regenerator mon. I guess there's technically a regenerator core there with Torn. I don't know, man. It passes wishes. It can heal Bell. That's about all it does. It can Calm Mind, but it's not Mega Audino, so eh. Empoleon, it's the best defogger, can set rocks. Could be annoying if he's like SD. I mean, that would be honestly sick if you pulled that off. And then Electrode's very fast. Foul Play is something that I can click. It's a Volt Switcher. But something else worth noting is that it can also set screens, which I would honestly not be surprised to see like some sort of dual screens Electrode, but it's something. I mean, it's an Electrode. He has other threats on his team, but I wouldn't be too terribly surprised if I saw that, because screens offense is pretty annoying against my team. From what I've gathered. I almost said in a mock, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys and act like I actually mock. So yeah, let's just let's just go ahead and get into the team. First off, we have Michael with a B. Our Mega Beedrill, of course, with the Beedrill Light, we have Poison Jab, U-Turn, Drill Run, and Fell Stinger. We have Speed for Mega Lopunny, and basically the idea here is to just pivot around, click our, like, it's literally just a Mega Beedrill, man. We pivot, we click Poison Jab, we click Drill Run on the things that Drill Run is super effective against, which is mainly just the Electrode. And it also hits, and I don't actually know, it doesn't hit Roserade harder. It obviously hits Empoleon as well. If we can get a Fell Stinger off, obviously, you know, we kind of just kill all the things. The defense allows us to live a fake out into a quick attack from Mega Lopunny. Funnily enough, the defense, like if we put that into HP, wouldn't have lived, but if we put it into defense, we live a fake out into a quick attack from Mega Lopunny. And 2 Poison Jabs will kill, so, or a Poison Jab will kill. 2 Poison Jabs does kill because I'll be able to live to it. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, it's basically, it's a Mega Beedrill. It's going to pivot. Hopefully it's going to get a couple kills, and it's going to be a good boy. Next up, we have Bubbles, our Palkia. With Dragonium Z, we have Hydro Pump, Special Wind, Flamethrower, and Thunderbolt. We have Speed for Kyurem Black. And again, really, it's just here to click buttons. Dragonium Z is a humongous nuke for everything on his team besides Rabombi. Pretty sure he has to be a Soul Vest to live with Torn, unless he's like just like a super spit F Tornadus. Which I guess is possible. Empoleon also lives, but Empoleon does not take Z Draco into Thunderbolt. So yeah, it kind of just kills something unless it's Rabombi or like Max HP AV Torn, I think can live. Z Draco into Thunderbolt, I'm not sure. It definitely can if he switches out, but yeah, other than that, it just kind of gets a kill. We should be able to live any non-specs hit from Mewtwo as well, so that's very nice. And yeah, it's a Palkia. It's going to do what it's done all season, and that's just sort of click buttons, because that's all Pokemon is. You just click buttons, lol. Next up, we have, of course, our Terrakion. We're just rocking a Choice Scarf set with Close Combat, Stone Edge, X Scissor, and Sacred Sword. We have Speed for potential Scarf Cure in black, and then we have, you know, just the rest thrown into HP, just, you know, live random hits better. We don't really take much from this thing, but this thing can really dent his team early game, or even be, you know, a sort of late game cleaner, which is sort of what Terrakion likes to do anyway, and I feel like it really can do that very well in this matchup. He does not have a whole lot that switches into Rock plus Fighting coverage. It hits his team very hard, and yeah, it's definitely gonna be a good bring, I feel. Next up, we have Ray Romano, our Mamoswine. We're rocking an Assault Vest with Icicle, Crash, Earthquake, Ice Shard, and Knockoff. I read that out of order and it screwed me up. We have a little bit of Speed, which I believe is just for like random creeps with like Empoleon. If you want to creep that, I just decided to throw the last 4. But we have max HP basically as a way to eat Z Draco from Kyurem, because Kyurem is disgusting. It also provides us a decent switch into Roserade, decent switch into, you know, a sort of offensive Tornadus, and a decent switch into Mewtwo. It can live like non-Specs Aura Sphere if he wants to bring that, or Focus Blast. I don't think it can live. It might live a Specs Focus Blast. I don't think so. This is Specs Aura Sphere though. I do know that. It's not even a move that Mewtwo gets. I'm pretty sure Mewtwo clicks Aura Sphere, right? Right? I think Omega brought that against me, didn't he? Yeah. I don't know. He'll probably bring Focus Blast if he does, but we'll see. But yeah, that's Memo. Its job basically is to live a couple hits and like outspeed Roserade, or live a hit from Roserade and kill that, outspeed Empoleon and scare it out, basically is what I want it to do. Next up, we have Brain, our Uxie, doing Brain things. We have Zen Headbutt Knockoff, Stealth Rock and U-Turn. We have Speed for, I believe, Roserade, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check that real quick, just to make sure. I don't want to misinform you. Yeah, that's for Roserade. For some reason, I always think Roserade is 95. I don't know why, man. That's one of those ones that always give me fits with this speed tier. But we have the rest in the HP, and then just a little bit in attack. Zen Headbutt over Psychic because it hits Roserade harder, because Roserade does have really high speed up. And then we have U-Turn to pivot out on stuff like Crocodile wanting to switch in on us, or whatever wanting to switch in on us. And then we have Knockoff to get rid of items, specifically like Mewtwo would be nice to knock off. If it's like Life Orb Specs, like I mentioned, knocking off Kyurem Black if it's not. Z-Move. Torn is also something I would love to get knocked off. Electrode if it's Light Clay. Empoleon is always nice to knock out Resist Berry off. And then last but certainly not least, we have our Flower with our Florges with leftovers. We have Moonblast, Defog, Wish, and Protect. We have a lot of Fizz Def, which will allow us to live non-banded Iron Head from Kyurem. Use the Iron Head, well then F me. But yeah, we basically just take hits, and yeah, we basically have this here for Defog because he has Mold Breaker, Kyurem Black, which does not allow Rotom to do what it wants to do. Although it would have been nice to Willow a couple things on his team, I just felt like, you know, having Flower here is better. It's like, you know, sort of switch into some Kyurem Black sets, and then Moonblast Fam is pretty good against his team, except for, you know, the Roserade and the Empoleon. Other than that, though, it's really nice to click against them. So that is going to be our team. Let's go ahead and get into the matchup right about now. Alright, we're back here with the battle. You can see Panther ended up bringing the Electrode, the Empoleon, the Crocodile, the Mewtwo, the Kyurem Black, and the Mega Lopunny. So his 3 most humongous threats, the Empoleon, which is probably going to be his only defogger, his only hazard removal he brought, and the Crocodile, which is the only, well, it's not the only hazard setter, but he could have hazards on Empoleon. I'm not smart. But yeah, it's a ground type as well. And he did end up bringing the Electrode over something like Roserade, which honestly I expected a little bit more. But you know, like I said, there was a world where I expected him to bring Electrode, and he ended up bringing Electrode, which is a bit obnoxious. I do expect it to probably be a dual screens variant, like I said. So let's go ahead and get into the game. Good luck, have fun, of course, to Panther 2. Go check him out in the description down below. And also give him a shout out for letting you boy in the APA LC. Probably shouldn't have leaked that, but you know, it's about to start up anyway, so I did it anyway. So we ended up leading off with our Mamoswine. It does end up leading off with the Electrode. I kind of figured he would, considering he brought the Electrode, so I just wanted to go ahead and lead off with my Mamoswine, as you know, ground versus electric kind of makes sense. You know, there's your type charts coming in handy for you. Study your type charts, kids. But he's gonna go for the Reflect, of course, as I just go for an Earthquake, and I'm pretty sure this will still do a ton to this thing, even through Reflect, because it's a Mamoswine. Max attack Mamoswine at that, and you can see it actually ends up doing 75%, which will make it put this thing actually out of range of an Ice Shard with that roll. So he actually is just gonna go hard into the Kyurem behind a Reflect, which is relatively annoying because, you know, it's a Kyurem behind a Reflect. So as I just fire off another Earthquake, because it does a lot of damage to anything. I mean, it's an adamant Mamoswine Earthquake, so it's gonna do damage. even if there is a reflect up. So it does just over 25%, which is good to know in case he does want to be some sort of sub Kyurem, which is great that we do manage to break that if you decide to go for it. But you can see he just goes for a Dragon Claw, which is cool, and it does not do a whole lot to me. I am max HP Memo, and I can just fire off another Earthquake, putting him at around half HP. And yeah, I'm basically content with just letting Memo do his thing here, just stalling out turns of Reflect, which is great. So he actually ends up going for a Roost, revealing that, which will get him right back up to full, which is pretty obnoxious, so those 2 turns are basically for nothing. But I can just go for yet another EQ, again, stalling out turns of Reflect, and just doing some decent damage with the Kyurem. If he is sub, well, he'll have to, you know, reveal it at some point, sub Roost, but, you know, it's whatever. Just goes for another Dragon Claw, which will, of course, 3-hit KO. But poor Mamos, I'm just going to keep firing off the Earthquakes again. Jesus, that scared the crap out of me. It's like 3 a.m. and like the wind is like howling, and my god, I thought I was actually getting possessed or something. But he's just gonna go for another Roost. Good lord, what is wrong with me? But yeah, just again, Earthquake. We're just sort of in a, you know, sort of a time loop, if you will. Is it a time loop? Nah, it's not a time loop. Oh, man. But we'll just keep going for EQ as it's getting to be about the time where the Reflect will be wearing off, but I decided to make the play into my Flowers. I've sort of conditioned him to go for Dragon Claw, and I can get my Fairy type in on that. And I am going to pull a double right back into Mamoswine, predicting him to just go for like a Z move or whatever. And so he actually just makes a really good play and just goes for another Dragon Claw as I end up sacking off my Mamoswine. Kind of wish he would have popped the Z move there. That would have been just a fantastic play, but unfortunately he just made the smart play and went for another thingy thing. But I can bring in Bubbles here as the Reflect does wear off. Not that it matters, I am of course a special attacker, but yeah, we can get Palkia in here as he will of course switch out, not wanting to sack his Kyurem this early. Makes sense. He goes into the Empoleon as I'm pretty sure I fire off a T-Bolt predicting this. Or no, I actually go for Dragonium because I just want to get big old damage off on something. If he did want to go into Empoleon, depending on his spread, I should be able to kill with Z Dragonium into Thunderbolt. Like I said, depending on his spread and depending on his item, of course, is Vulcan Berry, then oops. Kind of a misplay, but yeah, we'll just fire off the Devastating Drake. As you can see, just clean animation come off. You can see he'll do a decent chunk of the Empoleon actually, right around half. So, and of course unfortunately we do not refill an item, so I don't really want to risk the T-Bolt here, but I'm pretty sure I click it anyway as he goes into the Electrode. Do I go for it? I do go for it. Okay. I guess it would have killed then. I'm sure in the moment me knew that roll. And unfortunately, I missed the kill on the Electrode. It lives on like 1 HP, so he's going to be able to get another screen up if he wants to. But I decided to switch out, knowing them like randomly explode on me or something. I can just bring in Flower here, and I can defog if he does want to set screens. He's going to go for a light screen this time, which makes sense. I can defog these screens away with Flower here, and he can't really do a whole hell of a lot to me. But he is going to go for a Toxic, which is extremely, like, just a nuisance. I don't want to say it's like annoying, because Flower's not going to be really staying in a whole lot to really let that rack up too much, but I am, of course, on a timer, and I don't have Heal Battle this week. But I can just go for a Moonblast here to finish off the Electrode, preventing him from setting screens for the rest of the game, which is lovely. And I'm pretty sure he goes into the Mewtwo. Yeah, he just goes into the Mewtwo. And it's in, boys. Something is dead on my team. Yeah, something must die. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Flower. I decided to go into Brain, as Brain is basically my only actual switch into this thing, and even then he can just go for Shadow Ball and just blow Brain sideways. So he's going to go for the Side Strike, which is just a freaking incredible animation, honestly. And he does reveal to be Life Orb, which, fun fact, I don't take a Life Orb Shadow Ball, like, ever. So, yikes, if he has that, that's pretty much going to be bad. So I do just decide to stay in and click Knock Off to bait the Shadow Ball, just hoping that I can, you know, force him to not click it or something. I don't know, man. I just go for Knock Off. As you can see, he just goes into Kyurem, and we do see that he is Z-move. So I'm like, alright, time to not let Brain die. Or actually, no, I decided to set up Stealth Arc with Brain. Alright, I guess I just don't want my Brain. But we do see we outspeed the Kyurem, which is pretty noteworthy, and yeah, sorry, Brain. I'm waiting for the punchline, so he's gonna go for the Freeze Shock on my Brain, and the Z Freeze Shock at that, and that, my friends, is what we like to call Brain Freeze. I'll see myself out. But I'm sorry. But I'm gonna go into Bubbles here. Of course, I can't revenge it because I do always outspeed. So I decided to click a Spatial Rend here, And we miss the Spatial Rend. And he gets a Dragon Claw off, and my Bubbles goes down. And boys, this is looking real sorts of messed up. Just all sorts of bad. All sorts of not good. If I hit that, of course, you know, the Kyurem Black goes down. I still have a full HP Palkia, and anything is possible. But unfortunately, we do miss a Spatial Rend, which is 95% accurate, man. Come on, Bubbles. Come on, Bubbles. You let Brain down for nothing. You let Brain die for that. But we can go for a Poison Jab here, which will do a lot to the Kyurem. And unfortunately, just missed out on the KO. I do get a Poison. And he's going to go for a Free Shock, which, of course, you know, it's a 2-turn move. Thankfully, he didn't go for Dragon Claw. Maybe that was a misclick. I'm not really sure. Actually, the Poison there was super unfortunate, because had we not gotten the Poison, I would have been able to get off a Fell Singer against that thing and potentially been able to bring this game back a little bit with Mega Beedrill. But, man, again, if he had just clicked Dragon Claw, I would not have died because I have a little bit of defense investment. But then he could have just came in after and picked me off with Fake Out plus Quick Attack if he had it, or just clicked Fake Out, switched out, and then came back in and clicked Fake Out again. But yeah, it is what it is. But we can go for a Poison Jab here, which will do a lot to the Mega Lopunny, and we actually pick up another Poison. So, you know, Michael with a B doing his best to not let Brain die in vain. Ooh, bars. But yeah, he's just going to go for a Frustration, which will, of course, finish off my poor Michael with a B. He tried for you, Brain. He tried to bring it back for you a little bit, but the Lopunny will go down to Poison. So that my man's out here picking up a double kill with, you know, after effects with, you know, with poison damage. But yeah, it's pretty much just up to Terrakion at this point. The Mewtwo comes in. I do have X-Scissor, but it comes down to whether or not it kills the Mewtwo, which turns out actually, why the hell did I switch there? I go into Flower. Why did I not just try to kill this and sack afterwards? He goes for a Side Strike on my Florges. What was Past JB doing, man? Did I predict him to switch, or did I predict him to go into the Croc? I'm not really sure. I really don't remember my mindset on that play. Like that was a huge misplay. That was a huge misplay. But he's just gonna go for two Side Strikes, which will finish off my Flower. I definitely could have saved Flower as a sack to be able to switch moves with Scarf. But yeah, that was not a good play. I don't know what that was. I could have clicked X-Scissor against this and then switched out, sacked versus the Crocodile in the back, and then come back in and click Close Combat, and I think just cleaned up the game. But instead I clicked Close Combat because I had to lock myself into it. Hope I crit the Mewtwo. I actually do crit the Mewtwo. It's not enough though. And yeah, he's just going to go for a Side Strike, which will finish off my poor Terrakion. I don't know what that play was. Like, looking back at that, that was a huge misplay. I really don't know what the hell I was doing going hard Flower there. I really should have just clicked Extreme Speed. Or X-Scissor, I mean. That was a huge joke. But nonetheless, very good game to Panther 2. It was a really fun matchup. A little bit of hacks there at the end because of the poison stuff, as well as, you know, the Spatial Rend miss. But yeah, it is what it is, man. You can't win them all, unfortunately. So that is going to be the end of our run in the BBL Season 2, which we end up being in semifinals, which is honestly way better than I expected this team to do. Like halfway through this season, I was unsure if we were going to make playoffs through a lot of it, but I managed to have a pretty good second half and a really good playoff run as well. And Panther is going to be taking on the winner of Gypsy King and Blue. So definitely be sure to go subscribe to him to see the finals whenever that comes out. And I do want to apologize for this being a day late. My internet's trash, and also I'm lazy, so I can't help being me. It just is what it is at this point. But I do have a couple other leagues coming up pretty soon. One of those which I mentioned, and another one, two more which I can't mention yet, I don't think. But yeah, I have a few more leagues coming up pretty soon to really round off the summer of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon before Sword and Shield comes out. So we're not done with Draft League just yet. We have a few more in us before Gen 7. So thank you guys so much for watching this BBL season. If you do like it, be sure to subscribe for more Draft League content coming throughout the summer. And like I said, be sure to go check out Panther as well as all the other coaches in the BBL. That's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.